This call is being recorded.
Hey guys, I'm Tatum.
And it's your girl Milan.
Hold on, it was some feedback. Let's do that one more time.
Okay.
Hey guys, I'm Tatum.
And it's your girl Milan.
And welcome to episode 32 of the Black Girl Boss Podcast. Whoop, whoop, whoop.
Woo, woo, woo. 32. All right, ladies.
I remember, because we just recorded 31 the other day.
Right, that was easy. It was like literally a day in between, so we cheated on that one, but it's cool. But today we are going to talk about being lonely in entrepreneurship. This is a conversation that comes up so much amongst entrepreneurs. Girl, I'm so lonely. Girl, he don't understand. Or y'all, she don't understand, from the guys that are in entrepreneurship talking to us about it. It comes up so often, and lately, a lot of people don't know how to handle it. I mean, Tatum and I can't relate, but we're here to relate because we've been in situations. So we decided to have a conversation about it. And so start off the conversation, I guess really, and that's my favorite thing to say because I can only give other people's perspective, because my situation and your situation is definitely completely different since we are in relationships with two men that work 9 to 5s, but are definitely understanding to support to our situations. But how can being lonely really distract your work habits and everyday movements? Because for me, when I wasn't in a relationship, I didn't really see a difference in my grind. I just was like, okay, well, I don't got nobody to worry about. I don't really, that's not really a factor. I'm going to just keep doing what I was doing. I feel like my transition from being single to a relationship, nothing was really different.
Yeah, I mean, I was single for a good part of my journey. I had a boyfriend when I started my business, and I was single for a while, and then I got into the relationship I'm in now. But for the time where I was single, there wasn't necessarily a difference in my work ethic, but I was definitely kind of bored when it came to when I turned the business off and just wanted to do things that you do with a significant other. Like, I'm a hopeless romantic. So I was kind of bored sometimes, or missing that romance aspect when I was single. And that's where the loneliness did come in. And even when I was dating, it was kind of just like, so, like when you single, they're single. I'm not in a relationship. They're single. Like, I'm talking to somebody and we about to be together. And then there's like single as hell. Like, you really ain't got nobody. So when I was like super single, it was kind of like, yo, what is going on here? Like, it was like, what? I want to tell somebody about my day. Like, I want to tell somebody about the great things that's happening in business. Like, it was super lonely. But I'm also a huge proponent of who you decide to be in a relationship with is probably one of the biggest decisions you'll ever make, especially for your business. Because women, we're naturally more emotional than men. So we get emotionally connected to this person. And if it's the wrong person, it could really, really affect our relationships, because then we start choosing people out of loneliness. Then we stop having our vetting process be as strong as it should be, because we choosing somebody off of loneliness as opposed to choosing somebody that is an actual good fit for us. So loneliness definitely didn't affect my work ethic, but it made me bored. Don't you?
Bored. Yeah, I've seen so many posts on social media, like, I wish I had somebody to share the success with. Oh, and then, of course, your boy Jay-Z creating that what's better than 1 billionaire too. Well, I'm just sitting here by myself being 1 billionaire. Where's the next person? It's like so lonely and just like so blah. And I'm like, it's kind of like they don't realize how distracting it is to their brand, because you're putting so much of you being lonely out there. Is like people don't even really notice that you're working, because you're talking about how lonely you are. Okay, yeah, you're like, okay, yeah, I'm a boss, but where's Mr. Perfect or where's Mrs. Perfect? You know, like putting that out on social media is so distracting to us, because we're trying to see what you're winning your brand. We want to see your brand. All you're talking about is being lonely and not having somebody and how you want this. And I understand the wanting to confide in someone and talk to you about your day and everything, but I don't think that should ever distract you from moving on in your business and building your empire. Because the moment you allow that loneliness to interfere and put that block on your life, your empire is not built. You get this Mr. Whoever, now you're happy, but now your business is slacking. So now you have business depression because your business is now in the slum.
Not business depression. I never heard that before.
I just made it up, so we're going to add it to the book of things that I say. Shit Lon says the business depression.
But that's so true, though. Like, I think that's like a pessimistic mindset. Like, if you had so much success in your business and your business is going well and you hustling and you seeing results, why are you even focusing on the fact that you're not in a relationship? Like, fall in love with yourself and go travel the world. Take your girls, take your family, like take your mama, like whoever. Go have fun, enjoy the fruits of your labor. Like, a relationship does not make or break anybody. Like, and when you're whole by yourself, that's going to make you that much better for any relationship that you're in. Not even just a romantic relationship, but when friends come into your life, you're not leaning on them to be all of this to you, because you're all of that for yourself. So I think if you get lonely, you should really check yourself as to why you're lonely and figure out how you can fill that void by yourself. Because it's nothing better than two whole people coming together as opposed to two people that's broken trying to fix each other.
Preach it, sis. Preach it. So do you think, like, becoming so lonely, like you stop dedicating time to your business and you focusing so much on your relationships and friendships is like the same thing as you having so much success that you block out those relationships and friendships? Like, do you think that can be like the same type of loneliness, like having so much success that you're lonely and you know it, but you don't care because you have so much success, but deep down inside you're so unhappy? You know how they say, like, what is it? You can have all the money in the world and still be unhappy.
Yeah.
I think that's
But I think that's more so based off of, again, that issues that you have with yourself, because everything takes balance. Like, you can't be a boss 24/7. It's actually absolutely draining. Who will want to be like a boss 24/7? If you do, then you are running from something. Like, it's just draining. It's taxing. Everything takes balance. You're supposed to spend time with your friends. You're supposed to spend time in your business. You're supposed to spend time with your family. Like, all of these things just add and build you up and make you the whole human that you are. So you should never focus on one thing, even if you in an intense grind mode with your business. Because I know I have a friend, Cedric, that was on the show. So we was talking one day and he was saying he had just traveled to Cuba and he was and he was about to go somewhere else. And I was joking, like, oh, I want to be like you one day, or something like that. So he was like, oh, why don't you just travel? I'm like, nah, I'm in an intense grind mode in my business right now. Like, we go through different seasons. We have our grind seasons, and then we have our seasons where it's like, I want to travel a different country every week. But it's all about a balance. So if this is your grind season right now, then make sure you take some time to hang out with your non-entrepreneur friends sometimes, or hang out with your family to kind of relieve the stress a little bit or get away from the loneliness, or put yourself in situations where you're around people. Go to different networking events and you might meet a Black man boss, while you're there, but just feed the relational need in any way that you can that won't allow you to settle or won't allow you to get into a depression of any sort just because you're lonely.
Absolutely. So in other words, y'all, do not be Taraji from Think Like a Man, because she had all that money and was so unhappy, and she was trying to find this entrepreneur man or this boss man who matched her, and she was running into a bunch of assholes, i.e. Morris Chestnut. And then when she got with my man's Michael Ealy, it humbled her and she found true love, but she was so stuck in her ways of not, having this person who was so much of a success like her. She looked down on everybody else and her ass was not happy. So, find that self-love within yourself and realize what you really need and stop trying to see what you really want to match your business, because that don't work and you're really going to be lonely. So I guess with the comparison of Michael Ealy, Morris Chestnut, and having that relationship and that significant other, being in a relationship and not being that supportive, understanding significant other, a lot of times people end up pushing their dreams onto their significant other. And I dealt with a situation like that where I was really so into what he was doing, and he never really once I can't even say never really once. He never asked about the business or when I first started the company. Never asked about anything that was going on in my career, or like, how's the business going? I know you just started, nothing. And nothing ever came up. But every day I was asking, how was this in your day, or how was that in your day? And it was, full blown conversations, but I never had anything of mine that was being asked. So I would start to, say, oh, well, this is about to come in, and just start really talking about it and hyping it within our conversations. But it was just me doing it. So I felt like I was pushing my dreams onto him for him to want to support. But you can't make somebody support if they just really don't give a damn. And if that's the case, that's not the type of person you want to be with, especially if one of your love languages is, words of affirmation, or you need somebody to show you that they care, then that's just not for you. And I really feel like that's the big key in a relationship, that in business, you shouldn't have to force your business or your dreams onto your significant other, because then that weighs a lot on you, because it's like you're battling within yourself, your relationship, and then the stress of your own business.
Yeah, I agree. And I think as women, sometimes that's just what we do, because we were built to be nurturers. Sometimes we do allow the person that we're nurturing to overshadow us and what we have going on in our needs. Because I know I was dating a guy, and I was so into this guy. Like, you could not tell me that this man was not going to be my husband. Like, I was so into this guy, but we never talked about my business. Like, he would even be over, and I would be about to leave. Like, oh, I gotta go. I'm going to go put on a workshop or whatever for the teens. And it wouldn't. When I would see him again, it wasn't a how's the workshop, or is there anything that I can help you with? Like, do you need somebody to help set up? Like, it was none of that. So it was kind of, to me, like, it was something that I was ignoring. And so to me, because I know like my habits, and I know that when I get into somebody like that, then I just might compromise on things I don't need to compromise on. Or again, that if that loneliness may be prevalent at the time, I always pray for God I always pray to God and be like, look, if this dude ain't for me, take him away, because I don't want to get so into him that I allow him to block my blessings or get me off track. And so, of course, me and that guy didn't work out, but like, I was in that situation as well. And so with me dating after that, it was like, okay, I need to make sure that whoever I'm with is really invested in me being successful, and not necessarily just with business. Like, I need them to genuinely want me to be happy. So, and when somebody genuinely wants you to be happy, consequently, they're going to want your business to be successful, because that makes you happy. And your needs are going to change. You might change businesses. You might start a new business. You might close down your business for whatever reason, but you need to have that person who is just on your team. And I think that's so important. And as women, we have to prioritize that and really pay attention when we're dating somebody in the beginning. Like, ask those meaningful questions about them and pay attention to those red flags before you catch feelings. That way it'd be so much easier to just cut them off if need be.
Absolutely. And it wasn't really hard. Like, that's the big turnoff for me. So mine wasn't as hard to, just be like, oh, well, you out the picture. But it was like I was faking my happiness in a sense. Like, I was so convinced in my mind at one point, like, oh, yeah, he cared. Da, 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 da. But then I came around and like, girl, every time y'all talk, you talking about your own business. It's not, oh, how was your day? This, that, and the third. He don't care. Next. Like, when I had that self-reality check, it was like, okay, what are you wasting your time for? It's no point on convincing yourself that this is what it should be, just because, again, he's in the same type of position as you, that y'all should work. So, ladies, y'all heard that. Do not convince yourself just because he's in the same type of power or position that you are in, that you all should work, because that's not the case. And you know what? Now that I think about back to the episode with Cedric, Tatum, I'm on your side.
Oh, no. You're on my side now. Oh, no. I don't want you over here. Stay over there.
No, in my defense, I was the mediator. I was in the middle of this.
I don't want to hear it. I'm going back on mute. I don't want to hear it.
I was in the middle of this. Now, when I say that out loud and really think into it, and granted, my boyfriend now, he's a 9-to-5 and an entrepreneur, so he has the balance of both, similar to what I have right now. But that other person just had his career, which I can't disclose because that's going to be a Hot Boy Central, but we get it. So yeah, ooh, sorry T. I'm so sorry for that episode, y'all. I'm on Tatum's side, so do not hold me against it because I just had to have a reality check again.
Forget that, because you was all on Cedric's side, like, ooh, no T, I agree with Said on this one, and Said was all in his fantasy land about the woman doing all of this stuff, and Said is still single. For that reason.
I didn't agree with the woman doing all that stuff. He was lunching on that one. That was a big time luncheon.
Whatever.
But, and not only in relationships, see, how do you feel about your friendships, though? I know we briefly touch on it every now and then, but we've never had like a really in-depth conversation about how you not having friends can be lonely, or sometimes they can be a burden, just like a relationship where they really don't understand, and that can be lonely.
Yeah, I'm so blessed to have some friends that's like the real MVP. Like my non-entrepreneur friends are not needy at all. Like I talked to my best friend yesterday. I haven't talked to him in like a couple weeks, maybe a month, and he moved to LA like about a month ago. So the last time I really talked to him was like the day after, or maybe the week after he moved out there. And so we talked yesterday. And we was on the phone for like 2 hours catching up. Like he's a singer. He's going to be on, I don't even know if I'm supposed to say this, but whatever. He's going to be on American Idol this season. So I'm like hype. I get to go to LA and be backstage with the family. Like, oh, did he get accepted? Yada, yada, yada. So y'all going to see me on TV. But, but yeah, so I talked to him like when it comes to my self-care days, sometimes I do incorporate my friends. So like, a couple self-care days ago, I went to my mom's house, and the apartments that she live at is a real nice pool. So I went to the pool. I called up my non-entrepreneur friends. We was hanging out, and they understand. Like they call me the HBIC, so they joke around about me being an entrepreneur. Or like if I put something up on social media, they might screenshot it and send it to me and crack a joke or something like that. But they are just amazing. They're not needy at all. I try to hang out with them as much as I can, and just check in with them and stuff like that. But I do remember when I first started my business, I really wish I had more friends who understood what was going on. And even when I started, I was working with somebody else, and she wasn't entrepreneurial minded. So she was good at the actual us working with the kids part, but she wasn't entrepreneurial minded in the sense where if there was a problem, she would panic. And I'm like, I'm really trying to hear that. I'm trying to focus on the solution. Or if I would be like in a serious grind mode, trying to figure out how to grow this thing, she would be offended. Like, oh, you isolating yourself. Like she was that type of person. And that's probably another reason why we ain't friends right now. But that was lonely for me, and I was really wishing that I had some people who understood. And so that was something that I prayed for a lot. And then I started meeting the entrepreneur friends that I have now, and then just building on those relationships, and not just meeting somebody one time that I vibe with and just never following up with them, or being too scared to call them and see if we can meet up or get to know them a little better and things like that. Because when we was in school, college and stuff like that, you are around people all the time. So you naturally develop friendships. But when you're grown, especially when you're an entrepreneur and you hustling, you have to be intentional about building friendships. So just once I started meeting those people, I just made sure that I was super intentional about building and nurturing those relationships. So I don't really have to worry about being lonely now, because I mean, I got my man, I got my friends, I got, my family. So I'm like good money now. But in the beginning, it's definitely hard. And that's why I can't stress enough how much you really have to be okay with being by yourself. You got to really like yourself, because it's just going to be you and that dream for some time until you start developing those relationships.
Absolutely. And I clearly really like myself, because I'm actually okay. Like, you don't got to text me, we don't got to talk, and I'm just okay. And it's not to say that I don't be missing my friends, or I won't miss my friends, but I don't feel like I have to talk to them every single day. I don't feel like we got to be on each other's coattails. Like, I don't know. That's just my personality. Like, if we don't talk, I'm not like, oh my God, you're such a bitch. Why didn't you talk to me? Like, I'm so mad at you. it doesn't, I don't even, not to say I don't notice it, but it's just like, because everybody has their lives. Everybody's so busy, and I'm just understanding to that. So I agree. If you have friends that feel like you have to talk to them every single day, and that, you know, when you're doing your business, you're pushing them off and you're forgetting about them, and all you're really doing is growing, and not saying that you cut them off. You could be spending legit time with them, but it's just not what they're used to or not enough. You might want to reevaluate that, because if they're nagging you now about that and you just in the beginning stages of your business, think about what's going to happen later when you are really the HBIC and you just taking trips every other day, and you got meetings for 6 hours out the day, and then you got to stay late at the office, and they want to go to happy hour, and girl, you can't go to happy hour. They want to be up in Ozio's and Rose Bar next to John Wall. You can't be there, and it's okay. So you might, like Tatum has more entrepreneur friends than I have. And I know that's definitely a great balance for her, because then she has, like, in those lonely moments where her non-entrepreneur friends may not understand, those entrepreneur friends will. So for me, I only really have her, Marcus said, and those two Tatum. So I was like, I ain't really got no friends of my own as entrepreneurs for real. But you know, I'm working on that, and I'm building that area, because I know I do need that for times like when I call Tatum and need to vent it out. Tatum's not going to always be there because she got a man. I can't call her at 12 o'clock at night and be like, Tatum, and try to vent something out about entrepreneurship. So it's good to have that equal balance in.
Sleep. You say, I'm sleep at 12.
Yeah, she really is. Tatum's like a grandma. Okay, y'all, don't need advice at 12 o'clock at night, because Tatum is not answering.
Nope.
But nah, so yeah, I definitely think that balance is sound, and I'm thankful that Tatum has introduced me to some entrepreneur friends. So other than that, I was at 0 and 0. Milan 0. That was my score. I had nothing. But nah, shout out to my friends that I do have who understand that Milan don't gotta text and talk every day. Milan barely check her text messages. I'm horrible. I don't even know why I have a phone. Like, y'all might as well just send me pigeons. All that.
And not pigeon.
For real, it might be a quicker response if you send me a pigeon. But touching on,
I would even say, like, another adjustment that friends and people in general are going to have to understand is you can't go everywhere anymore, because now you're a brand. So even if you do, whenever you do have time to hang out with them, how you hang out with them may have to change. Like, my friend's birthday was the other day, and he and I have been friends since middle school. And he texted me and was like, they were doing bowling or something for his birthday. So I couldn't go out to the bowling event Friday because I had business over breakfast Saturday. So I don't really like to go out before I got to do professional things, because I like to be on point. I'm like how when you was younger, they would be like, eat a good breakfast and get a good night's sleep before a test. Like, that's how I am before, like, an event. I got to get a good night's sleep. Can't be out. Can't be doing that extra before. But so I told him I couldn't come to that. So then he was having like a get together. So he sent me this little Instagram notes flyer about the event he was having, and it was like, yeah, we turning up for such and such B-Day, bring your own tree, bring your own. I was like, I'm not coming to that. And I was like, I'm sorry, I cannot be in that type of environment. And I was like, you're not about to catch me on nobody. What would I look like? Like, what would you say to me if you see me on Instagram or on Snapchat somewhere in the background in a party, everybody get high, and I'm sitting there looking around, looking dumb?
I'll protect you and be like, you lost your mind.
Right, exactly. Like, I can't do everything. So my friends know that. So that's an adjustment that, he didn't know that. He learned that in the day. But that's an adjustment that people have to make as well. You can't go everywhere. Like, I don't like to go to Ozio's, because Ozio's is super ratchet to me. Like, I'm not trying to really be in that type of environment. And I have a ratchet side. So I don't want to be in that environment that's going to have me twerking the Bodak Yellow, and I need to make sure that I'm classy whenever I'm out in public. So I'm not going to put myself in that environment. But I will go to like a nice happy hour. I will go to a nice lounge. I'll go to a concert. We can travel, like, certain things I can do, but just that ratchet side, that ratchet stuff that we all love. Let's not fake like we too big for the ratchet stuff, because it's fun. But, you know, I can't do everything anymore. And people are going to have to get adjusted to that. And they will. When I call my friends and be like, hey, y'all, I got a villa in Fiji. Just get there. You know, then they'll be like, oh, cool, bet. Then they're going to be all right with it. So, you know, again, you might have to change the things that you do with your friends. But as a friend on your end, you got to make sure that you set up stuff. So if I tell him I can't come to your bowling night and I can't come to your turn up, I got to do something like it was his birthday, you know? So I'll be like, all right, we'll go to happy hour or something. I'm not drinking right now, but I will go to happy hour or something when I'm done with my fast. You know what I'm saying? So I have to offer an alternative. So for y'all that's trying to juggle friendships, whenever you turn something down, offer an alternative so you can let people know you still care about them.
Absolutely. Do you think that your partners, this is off of the loneliness, but it's reflecting on something you just said, do you think your partners or your closest friends' images reflect on your image?
Not all of them. Definitely not all of them. But I love my friends for who they are, ratchet and all. You know, but you do know who you can take places and who you can't, though. That's something else. But people really know what my friends' social profiles are unless I tag them in something. Mm-hmm. You know, so.
Well, you did raise a good one right there, bringing in places. So when it comes down to a significant other, is that something that entrepreneurs should really consider, like knowing that you may have to go to this event, how your significant other is and how they'll act?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. That's another reason why I say who you date is one of the biggest decisions you'll make for your business. Because if I take my husband somewhere and he's going to be in the corner looking dumb, like, that's not going to work. And to be honest, that's one of the things that attracted me to BJ was he's way more social than me. Like, I'm the type where I'll probably go sit down somewhere cute. I'll socialize with people. I'm a little bit more reserved. He'll be BFFs with everybody in the room by the time we're gone. Like, but that's one of the things that I like the most about him. Like, oh, I could definitely take him somewhere. He's going to make me look more approachable because he's so cool and down to earth and friendly. So I think that that's extremely, extremely important. Don't take your friend that you could call when it's time to fight to a networking event, because somebody might try you and you don't need your friend, you know, turning up on them because that's what they do. So yeah, definitely be mindful of that.
I had to ask because I done seen some things, okay? So seen some things in my day, and I'm just like, ooh. Look, sis, you ain't do that. You didn't just come in here like that. But right. You know what? And it's a, you know, like you said, BJ's a lot, you know, very social. Darius is very, very social. It's like, he'll walk past me, I'm like, you know what, I'm nod. I just said, what's up? I'm like, oh, okay. That's nice of you. Me, I'm like, I got resting bitch face. I'm sitting there like, oh, hey. Like, my face is one way. So, yeah, it's very important to have that equal balance too, especially if you're like Tatum and I not as social. And for me to be a publicist, quote unquote, supposed to be social, whatever, it works for me. I make it happen when I need to. But touching on one of the last points, and it's going back to what you said earlier about empowerment and self-love in order to operate a business. Do you think that, you know how people always ask us, like, what's the first step to business that you need to have? Do you think that's like the very, very first step?
Yeah, I mean, that's the first step to life, in my opinion. But when it comes to business, yeah, because that foundation. Now, when I say first step, that doesn't mean that you shouldn't start your business until you are the perfect self-love machine. That just means that that's one of the things that you have to prioritize, because business is going to require a lot of mental strength. And if you don't love yourself and you have a huge self-doubt problem, or you're always doubting yourself, that's going to reflect in how you handle your business. When you have a job, it's a little bit easier to kind of like, you know, I guess kind of get into the professional mode. It's easier to do that. But in business, because when you're at a job, you only got to fake it for 8 hours. When you in a business, you got to know what you got to be able to produce 24/7. And that's not saying that you're working 24/7, but especially when you starting out and building the foundation for that business, you got to be mentally strong to be able to, one, form the business, then to be able to solve problems in the business, then to be able to mentally handle when business, then be able to mentally handle when business isn't going your way, then be able to understand, you know, when you need a break. Like, it takes a lot of mental stamina to be an entrepreneur. So definitely self-love is the foundation, because once you love yourself, you start choosing who you associate yourself with wiser. You start paying attention to those red flags of people that you shouldn't work with. That's a huge thing. I know we mentioned on the last episode how, like, people, especially in service-based business, are shady. You know, people will call a bank and report your charge as fraud and stuff like that when they agree to work with you. Like, people do crazy stuff like that. So, like, you have to have discernment heavy when it comes to dealing with people to know, like, it's something about him. It's something about her. I don't know what it is, but I'm not sticking around to find out. I love myself way too much to invite that drama into my life, whether it be in a partnership, whether it be as a client, whether it be as a friend, whether it be as an associate, whatever. You know, self-love is the foundation to be able to make those intelligent, especially emotionally intelligent decisions.
Preach. See, y'all know that's her area, so I just let her go for it. But you're right. If you don't love yourself, you can't love nothing else around you properly like you're supposed to. You're not gonna be able to love your business. You're not gonna be able to love nothing. Like, the self-love I have for myself and the way I love you management, it has to work. Like, it's no other option, because that's going to be my livelihood. And I like to eat, and I love myself enough to feed myself. So we got to eat. So it got to work. So you right, see? So before we take a break, some of my key takeaways from this conversation, definitely from you speaking on these topics, T, and really giving your insight, and me just throwing my little 2 cents in, is that you definitely have to surround yourself with those who want to see you win. If they don't want to see you win, you don't need to be around, and it's going to put you in a really, really dark space and lonely space and cause a lot of confusion in your life and in your business life. And then another key takeaway that I had was be around those who hustle matches yours. So if you hanging around a bunch of people that's lollygagging, that's liable to drag you down because they not where they need to be, or they not doing that, you know, it's going to slow you up some, because you're going to be too worried about them, or too worried about stunting and shitting on them, in a sense that you're going to probably slow your pace down. So you don't have to be with people exactly on your level or doing the same thing that you're doing, but matches the hustle and the grind that you have within you. And those are my takeaways.
Yeah, those are good. Let me pull mine up. Definitely build relationships with people who get it. That's a huge thing, because having that safe space as an entrepreneur is like big. Days where I'm like, yo, I don't even know if I could keep doing this. You know, I had that safe space of people I can just let my frustrations out on. People that's going to be like, hold on real quick, I'm about to go pray for you. Or people will be like, what you doing right now? I'm about to pray with you right now on the phone. Like, those type of connections that I've been able to build is amazing. And sorry, y'all, my dog just does not like when I'm not giving him attention. But but yeah, just those meaningful relationships are everything for me. So for you guys, focus on building those. And it takes time. Don't think just because somebody's an entrepreneur or you like their professional persona that they're the person that you need to connect with. Definitely take things slow. Treat meeting people and getting to know people just as seriously as you would treat a partner. And also know who you are outside of being a boss. Like, nobody wants to be a boss 24/7. Like, that is, I got a headache just thinking about that. You know what I'm saying? Know who you are, have who you are as a boss, but then know who you are as a woman. And I'm not the boss in my relationship at all. You know, BJ is the boss of me. You know what I'm saying? And I don't want to be the boss in my relationship. When I'm with my friends, I'm not Tatum to HBIC because I'm an entrepreneur. I know more than them or I'm better than them. I'm just their friend. I'm talking trash. I'm cracking jokes. They cracking jokes on me. You know, that's just what it is. They keep me humble. They just remind me of who I am outside of the entrepreneur. And when I'm with my family, it's the same thing. You know, I'm the little spoiled brat who likes to lay up under my grandmother and ask her to cook for me every 5 minutes. Like, that's, you be who you are outside of being a boss, because that's just going to keep everything in perspective for you. And that's going to take that loneliness away. Well, at least help. So yeah, those would be my takeaways.
Yeah, wholeheartedly agree. And I forgot one takeaway, point, just having consistency in your life, because once you lose consistency, it can be kind of lonely in a sense. I know I battle back and forth with consistency with certain things, and it's like, okay, if my work situation is not consistent or this is not consistent, at least my relationship got to be consistent. You know, finding that consistency, because that can weigh heavy on you too. And Lord knows consistency, communication, and self-love is the key of life. Like, if nothing else, those three things matter. Those are major keys. Those are life goals right there.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. And don't be out here. I think something else that feeds loneliness, though, is like when people get into that comparison game on social media. I feel like the comparison game is the root of all evil in entrepreneurship, because you start comparing yourself like, oh, they have all of these entrepreneur friends and I don't, or, oh, this person is doing all of this and all I do is work. I don't even have fun in my business anymore. Or, oh, this person is, don't compare yourself to nobody else. Just be optimistic about where you're going and be confident in what you're for. And what you're believing in God for and all of that good stuff. Don't start comparing yourself. That's where self-doubt comes in and loneliness and all negativity. Just be positive as much as you can.
Yeah, that's perfect. I know the phone was kind of messing up, so I don't know if I heard everything, but I know it'll play through on the podcast when it airs. So yeah, I don't know. This thing is crazy. But do we have any questions, T, for the week? I'm not sure.
Girl, we just recorded 2 days ago. No.
Well, that's fair. All right, so we can take a break and then we'll come back with some wins, because technically we'll have wins for the next week and you have some wins already.
Yep, let's hop right back into it. Make this editing easy for me this week.
Boom, bow, and we're back.
Right. And we're back with a fake break. So what's your win?
So I have one win for the week. It's going to be, by the time this episode airs, we're going to pray that it's a signed, sealed, and delivered win. But I will hopefully, by God's grace, be locking in my first reality TV show client.
Awesome. Yes. Where's the button?
Oh, damn. See, y'all, I wasn't ready. Hey, wait a minute. Okay, all right. All right. Now I'll be ready for you, T. It's okay. I BS mine, but I'm ready for yours.
Yeah, so I signed 2 clients since yesterday, so I'm excited about that.
Yes, yours is nice and strong. The vocals came through on this one.
Yeah, that's because it heard cha-ching, like I've heard cha-ching the last couple of days. So I'm saying, yes, just as strong as that thing is.
But that was bomb. Maybe I need to provide our listeners with the timeline of this. We recorded episode 31 on Sunday. It aired on Monday the 31st. Today's August 1st. We're recording episode 32. So think about the timeline Tatum was able to do that in. If that's not motivation and inspiration for you, I don't know what is.
Yeah, but y'all need to understand the months of work that went into this too. And that's something I touched on my Instagram stories earlier today. Like, and matter of fact, the best way to describe it is the feedback that I get when I talk to people. The people that, one of the girls, I met her at a networking event, which is crazy because, I never go to networking events. So now it's like, ugh, I got to start going places. But, and then the other girl, so when I did my business over breakfast, I was very strategic about it. It was invitation only. And I only invited people who were warm leads. So by warm leads, I mean, I only invited people who have interacted with me in some way. So whether we have had a call before already, they're in the Facebook group, the Black Girl Bosses Facebook group, and I also invited people, I put it on my Instagram. So if somebody was like, oh, I want to come, then I sent them an invitation. And then I also invited people on my email list who have, opened up a lot of my emails. So MailChimp shows you who your active, engaged people are on your list. So I invited them because my thing is, if we're going to sit down in person, I need my odds of closing or my conversion rate to be high because I'm spending my time, my money, my effort, and giving away something. The breakfast wasn't free, but it wasn't something that I did for profit. So technically it was free. So, right. And then the other girl came from the business over breakfast, which was last Saturday. So I say that to say you have to be, for you guys that's listening and you're trying to get clients and things like that, or you're in a position where you feel like you've been putting in a lot of work or a lot of marketing efforts and you're not seeing a return, understand that the day you give up will probably be the day that the blessing is coming. So just make sure that you understand that your efforts are not in vain. These people that I signed have been people that have been in communication with me for months. So some people think that, I'm tired of writing blogs, I'm tired of sending emails, I'm tired of posting on Instagram, I'm tired of doing all this stuff, it's not working. But you're grooming people. That's what marketing is. So just make sure for everybody that's listening who may not necessarily be seeing the results they want to see in their business, or may think that I closed on 2 people in 2 days. That's not the case. I've been working on these people for months. So definitely keep at it. And it'll pay off. So I'm definitely excited, not just to sign them, but I'm excited just for the success that they're going to see in their businesses. Because I don't work with everybody, and I definitely turn people down. So I don't take people on for money. I want to make sure that I can help them and that they'll see results in their business by working with me. So if any of y'all listening want to work with me and figure out how to create, how to be more strategic in your business, shoot me an email, Tatum, like Channing Tatum, TATUM @thequeenacademy.com. That's it. Shameless plug.
Right, shameless plug. But you did good because you definitely gave yourself like a little pat on the back. You remember, y'all, Tatum really don't give herself pats on the back.
Nope.
So that was cool. We'll take it. Well, it's getting better. We'll take it. We'll take what we can get at this point. As long as you're being kind to yourself. I know Tish would be proud.
Right. She told me to attach rewards next to wins. I ain't do that yet, so y'all don't tell her.
She's gonna listen and hear, so Tish, she done told on herself now, so I hope you get her right as soon as you hear this. Still not listening.
Nope.
I guess that's it for episode 32.
Yes. Thanks, guys, for listening, and we will see you guys next week.
See ya.